The bed is obviously, just as an object, is a very personal, intimate, timeless object. It has a straight line between birth and death. It's associated with dreams and with the unconscious. There's so many things I like about it. So once you sort of take the functionality of the bed and give it an aesthetic function, everything's possible. My name is Ronald Gonzalez. I am a sculptor from Binghamton, New York. My mother was very religious, and I became an altar boy. And I had access to the church basement where they used to store statues. I like the kind of intercessionary role that they play between you and some invisible world. They were physical, but there was a metaphysical side to them. But I used to pretend, that I was an artist and that was a studio. And that was that sort of first idea about that, of just pretending to be an artist. Later on, I came across a book on Rodin called The Gates of Hell. There were boxes of fragments found in his studio after he died, and they were in those books, some photographs of them, of little rows of arms and legs and little permutations of form. Those were just so intriguing to me. I went out and bought a bag of clay that day and actually started making things, and I really never stopped. It was like a trap door I just fell through, and I just kind of completely fell in love with sculpture. I was born here in Binghamton, New York. I've lived here my entire life. I've traveled far in Binghamton without going anywhere. All the things I gathered together are from here. I started as a child just, collecting things from the streets, from the curbs, things to make toys out of and play things. So that experience of, developing a sort of appreciation for found things and scavenged things started pretty early for me. And I collect things that have a particular kind of interest to me, just by the nature of what they are. They're sort of emotional resonance, the connotations, and, sort of psychological associations they have. And they're just potential aesthetically of what I think I can do with them or how they might be used. There's a certain kind of archaeology or artifacts that are from the Binghamton area that I don't look for things online, and I don't go travel far to find things. And they just come in here and they become internalized. There's something that, I take inside of myself. I make them over inside of my heart, and then I put them out again. And I invest them with feeling. And so that's part of that process, and in terms of the sculpture. Which it has to do with that sort of idea of animation and, working with being and non-being and that process. I had to put a fence up on the property, and we had to tear down this sort of gardening fence. And I realized that if I cut it up, I could easily make just by bending the fence, make a little chair or a little bed out of it. And that started me just down that road where I started making a lot of these little chairs and beds. And I haven't stopped. The way I visualize ideas is in a series. My mind just works that way. I think it's part of that idea of working with various permutations of form. It's open-ended, and I'm not quite sure where that's going. But that's how that series started. There's just something about the sort of magical production of labor, where you're working in piecemeal and then somehow there's a final product. And that sort of factory mindset shaped my way of thinking and my approach to work for most of my life.